have the Felix Durgan Ellefson Agency Master Team Call. Tom Ellefson, I am direct to Mrs. Paige Durgan and the amazing Bridget Felix in the Miller Puckett Wayland hierarchy, and I'm just so grateful to be so. Let's see here. We are on Symmetry Week 3, which is amazing. Can you believe it's April? This is crazy. Um, So third week here, this is a good time to look at your promotions, look at where you're at, look at what's going on. Figure out with your upline how to get to your next promotion. There's still time to do it. The cool thing about this month is we've got 5 extra days in the month to get business issued. So if you're putting some massive action in this week and next week, get that stuff issued. It's going to count for April. So um, awesome. Here we go. New writers for April. Rebecca Ingalls, direct to the aforementioned Paige Durgan, and Mia, direct to the aforementioned Bridget Felix. Great job, ladies. Good job getting some new writers and sharing this opportunity with everybody. Here we go. This is the week of April 5th. 36 applications, 36 families helped, 61,000 in APV for Team Durgan and Ellefson. We had Jordan Johnson. Love our conversations lately, Jordan. These are awesome. It's what progression's all about here. One application for 585. Excuse me, 585 APV. Rebecca Ingalls, the aforementioned first-time writer, one application, 635 APV. Monse Serrato, one application for 1172 APV. Kristen Walsh, who's just tearing it up, one application for 1847. That's awesome. The Forever Steady Ibble Wood, 3 applications for 4587 in APV. That's awesome. Look at this. Paige Durgan with 7 applications, 8042 APV. And you never really want to be outdone by your downline, but you know what? It's cool. Myself, 7 applications for 8390 APV, and just so blessed to be on this team. And I think all of our numbers total don't add up to Miss Margaret Jensen with 15 applications for 36,613 in APV. My goodness, lady, you're on a tear. Good for you. Love it. Love it. Keep it up. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it because it's so fun to watch. It is awesome. And now I gotta get rid of this chat. It blew up on me. So 8 unique writers, 1 new writer, 66 families helped with 98,608 APV for April. That is so cool. So blessed to be able to do this. On to the Felix. Here we go. Whew. I'll
Want
get
me to
through
take it,
this.
Tommy? You seem to
Go for it. I need a mute. Yeah, go for it.
guys for the same week. Again, if you're new, the leaderboards always reflect the week prior. So for the week of 4 or 5, as an agency, we had 11 apps, 18, 20, 291. We had Mia with her first app. Congrats, Mia. She's so excited to get going. I think, where her heart is and how she feels about helping people is going to do absolute wonders for her and her business. She's also wanting to start to build. So great job, Mia. Lorenzo, one app, 798 APV. Lorenzo is doing all the things, right? Doing the extra trainings, just reaching back out to people. So great job, Lorenzo. He said it says Lauren, but he goes by Lorenzo. Mr. James Burge, back in it. 2 apps for 2875 APV. Brandon, 2 apps for not. That's a good one. Couple good ones, Brandon. For 194 APV. And Rafa's coming for Margaret. 5 apps for 10,228. I love, and I think I speak for everybody on this call. Absolutely love the dynamic and the playfulness and the supporting, really of everybody. But just again, is this is what makes it fun. This is what reminds you that this is doable when you're not having a good day. Being on the strings, a good test of if you are working on yourself first is this. When you look at the team string and you see all the production and the wins, does it make you feel great and inspired? If yes, keep doing what you're doing. If you feel like you don't want to look at it because other people are doing things that you know you probably should be doing, also fairly easy to fix. Focus on yourself first, reading, self-developing, listening to podcasts, exercising, whatever that is to set the tone for you. And that is a good kind of barometer, I think, of where you are versus where you want to be. So just a little one-off, right? Because I've been there, not doing the things I know that I should be doing, and I'll be on teams, and yeah, it's exciting, but it's kind of like not the same feeling because I know that I wasn't doing the things I needed to be doing. So, week to date, April, 6 unique writers, Tommy. One new writer, 23 apps, 30,951. I know it was Crystal,
I
and I
didn't
love her.
I didn't
Thank you,
touch that
Crystal.
one.
I know. Well, man, on the overview, Tom was like, boom. Paige is like, I wasn't done with that slide.
Too much
Just
caffeine. It's all good.
kidding.
It's
All
all
right.
good.
Thanks, Crystal.
It's all good. Um, Promotion guidelines. This is your guideline. This is your stationary. I mean, this is everything. Um, you should always be looking to promotions ahead. If you're at 80% right now, what does it take to get to 90? 5,000 for 2 months in a row issued. Okay. If you're at 85, what does it take to get to 95? 10,000 issued for 2 months in a row. Always be looking 2 steps ahead. And the reason being is you don't want to limp into, I mean, I'll take any promotion possible, I promise, but you don't want to limp into it. You want to crush it. You want to knock it out of the park and you want to leave no doubt. Now, on the other side, we have the slingshot where if you're looking, let's just look at the 80%. If you're looking at 2 promotions ahead, which is 5,000 for 2 months in a row, if you look at the slingshot, if you hit 1 month of that 5,000, you're going to promote yourself up to 85 already in 1 month. That's why we always look 2 ahead. So get with your mentor, figure out where you're going. Always look 2 months ahead. One thing I've done is write out what month you're going to hit each one of these promotions and then just don't stop. And we're gonna talk a lot about that. And gosh, Bridget, Paige, my goodness, it's so good to have the team back together rolling through this recruiting because it is. I mean, these ladies are amazing. You stick a nurturer with 2 female pioneers, and it gets a little fun, gets interesting, and it's awesome because I would have it no other way. Bridget's shared this opportunity with 8 people already, Page 14 and myself 19. We are just getting started here, and it's going to go boom, my friends. And I just love that we're all working together again. It's awesome. It just warms me. Future agency owners. We've got Team Birch with 2 riders for 36.73. We've got Team Wood with 2 riders for 64.34. And Team Jensen with 1 rider for 36,000 in APV. That is so cool. I can't say that enough without laughing. It's awesome. And it's not a laughing as it's so cool. What's possible here? Everything's possible. Margaret's showing it. So kudos to you, Margaret. You're doing amazing. Contests, here you go. Pick a carrier, go on a trip. I think Paige is racking these up left and right. I know Bridget's been on a trip. I've been on a couple. I've been on a trip. Bridget's been on a couple. Pick them out. Figure out where you're going to go. Figure out the promotion, what it takes to get there. Um, I'm kind of inspired by the Masters to start really honing in on Ireland and get over there next year. So it's a matter of figuring it out, get with your upline, write a whole bunch of business with that carrier, and just knock it out of the park. Ways to connect. We've got the workroom where you're at right now. That's always open. We've got the C. Miller Master Teams chat, as Bridget mentioned, the Felix Teams chat, and the Durgan Teams chat. Go in there, celebrate, join everybody, have a blast. It's there for you, so use it. If you're not using it, that's on you. Of Fame as well. This has been Bridget. Give me Give me two words to describe the Walk of Fame so far.
Inspiring and another word for I would say reinforcing or reminding.
Yeah.
Yeah, been
It's
good.
so good. It's so good. You know, we've seen we've seen the participation increase in each section. These are all for anybody at any point. Jump in, learn about it. There's always something to take away. I think I took something away from every call this week, Bridget. Something new, something different. And all the leaders that are pouring into you on these things, it's fantastic. Bridget just crushed it yesterday or Thursday on the advanced training. It was one of the best 30 minutes I've had on Zoom in a long, long time. So you just never know what you're going to get here. Jump in, hop in. It's always, always worth it. Uh-oh. We got our own trip. We're leaving on a jet plane, Bridget and Paige. We are going to somewhere nice and tropical in November. It's all about qualifying. Production is 1 point per issue APV. A conference registration, which is a requirement to go on the trip. You have to be registered for conference. That's 3,000 points. That's super easy. Get with your upline. They have tickets, they have discount codes. For builders, we didn't want to forget about you. For every ready to write's 1,000 points. For a new writer is 3,000 points. So let's go. Let's see who's going to win. Qualification started in April and it ends the day before conference. And we're going to announce it at our team dinner. So really, really cool. I'm glad to be partnering with with Durgan and Felix and the Miller Agency to do this. I think it's going to be special what comes out of this. So, oh, and that's it. Oh my goodness. All right. So, Bridget, you talked about, I think you quoted this, if you're on teams and you're seeing and you're doing well, it's awesome to be on teams, right? If you're if you're struggling a bit and you're trying to figure out, you should be doing the things that you should be doing, right? That's fairly easy to fix. That was a quote from you, and I love that because that's going to lean into what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about embracing abundance and rejecting scarcity. Okay. Where I'm the inspiration from this came from definitely the Masters yesterday. Rory, if those of you that don't follow golf, Rory just finished the career Grand Slam. Why it means so much to me is I used to be a golf pro in my former life. It's a passion of mine, and to watch somebody through 11 years try and try and try to finish the career Grand Slam, winning the four majors and fail and fail and fail. It really brought to light kind of what this topic is of embracing abundance and rejecting scarcity. Because Rory, in order to win, had to fail. He had to fail a lot. He he was in the lead numerous times in the Masters and failed down the stretch. When you're on the edge of a breakthrough, you're going to have, like at the edge of a breakthrough is a breakdown. You're going to have it. When you're on the far frontier of discovery, there's disappointment. And one step from clarity is always confusion. And I'll lead in with this. Think about this. The definition of freedom is the absence of necessity, coercion, or constraint in a choice or action. Okay. And we're going to compare freedom with this. We're going to compare it this way between need and wanting. A need is it requires something because it's essential or important. Okay. Wanting is lacking in a certain required or necessary quality of whatever that is. Wanting is about abundance and creation. Wanting requires no justification. When you need, you have to justify what you need because the needing world is one of scarcity. Um, you know, the you can look at it. as money as an abstraction, right? It's a finite game. There's only so much money out there. But wealth is the reality. It's infinite. There's no scarcity of wealth. It's a byproduct of choosing freedom, and you can create as much wealth as you want. Wealth is a value, right? It's it's quantitative. It follows qualitative. And I'll explain this way. 10, I'm reading a book, 10x is easier than 2x. Um, when you increase your wealth, you increase your value. And you create value that it's quantitatively different and better than what is out in the market. This is you. You create the value. You're the value. You're the worth. Your your value and quality of time, your value and quality of money, your value and quality of relationships, your value and quality of overall purpose, um, is really truly from the self-development part of this, of really figuring out exactly what wealth is to you and embracing the abundance, right? Rory, Rory failed 11 times. It was wearing on him. Um, did he stop practicing? Did he want the Masters less than anything else? No. Did he have to explain to anybody why he went out and practiced extra? Did he have to go explain to his family why he's not going to be around for the 2 weeks before the Masters because he's practicing for something that he really, truly, truly wants? Does he need a green jacket? No. Did he want it? Yes. And it's such an infinite game where the reality is created and chosen based on, your wealth, freedom, value, and you're not competing with anyone else. You know, Bridget, you mentioned when you look on teams, and this is a key thing, when you look on teams and you feel like, you're not doing the things that you should be doing, what you should do. You're using an external force to drive you, right? You're focused and worried about others. You're not clear on who you really are, because when you generate that wealth in yourself and that want, it doesn't matter. You go do it. It just goes and gets done. I love this. I don't know if any of you have ever looked at, Michelangelo's David. Anybody, the sculpture? We all know this, right? Think about this, Bridget. Um, Michelangelo was a really good sculptor back in the day, back in the times, right? What he did he wanted to become the best ever. What he did was he snuck into a morgue. Go figure. And he dissected cadavers because he wanted to see how muscles moved and how they flexed and how they set, so that when he did his sculptures, he did it with a real life image of what it looked like. How many people, how many sculptors go and um, cut up cadavers to try to figure out how to become the best ever? That's insane. But he took his level of commitment and his level of process and his level of detail to a new level just by going and looking at this and figuring that part out, right? And he was, it boils down to committing to what you want most is the only way to be free, right? If you're creating the life you want by creating the value you want, right? It's a mindset change when you go from you don't need it to you want it, right? Bridget Page, when we started recruiting, we didn't need to recruit at all, but we wanted to because we want to share this with people. We want to grow this. We want opportunities for everybody else on this team. And you know what? Half of our team probably isn't here because we're continuing to find that want in the recruiting. You get to you do what you want because you want to. That's enough. You don't have to justify it. You don't have to create anything like that. You create wealth and freedom from yourself. Go ahead, Bridge.
Yeah, this is really good stuff, Tom, because one of the things that can happen when we aren't doing the things that we know we should be, that's also when the anxiety starts to creep up. When we tell ourselves we're going to do this, this, and this, and we don't do any of them or most of them, right? So if you're paying attention, right, that's that anxiety trigger. So understanding that this is like everything in life, but specifically here, you have a choice. So when I'm having a bad day or I'm not thinking the right way about things, I have to remind myself, nobody's twisting my arm. Nobody told me I had to come into this and build a team. I chose this. And I used to have to remind myself of that a lot when we were in the field and you drive up to a house that looked pretty sketchy. Or if it was in a kind of a way, and it was like, well, no, I chose to do this. No one's twisting my arm. So when you do that, guys, it kind of takes that whole things are working against me mindset. It's how can I make this work for me? This is my path. I chose this. I know it works. I mean, I'm on the calls. I see that the system works for anybody who wants it. This isn't, there are no magic words, no magic equations. There's really a lot of hard work and dedication. And when you understand that everything is a choice, you decide how you respond to it. For me, it makes things a lot easier. So I just wanted to add that time because I have to do this. Marcia used to say, I get to make calls. I get to invest in leads. And that might sound a little corny in the beginning, but when you think about it, that's a mindset hack. And I get to do this. I get to work with cool people. All those things, because if you keep that up here, everything else will flow from there. And that's really how it is. And so I just wanted to add that about
Right.
everything you do is a choice. You chose to do this, so do it or not. But
It's
just
so
know.
good.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you look at it this way, right, Bridge, that when you're operating out of a necessity of need, right? And your your needs and the rationalization, it's a prison, right? Because you're operating in fear, you're operating in scarcity. I need this application to go through. I need this deposit to go through. I need this. That's scarcity. That's a different mindset. And when you're living based on what you want, I know we're talking about eat the frog um, in the Breakfast Club. When you eliminate, and what I'm seeing, and Paige talked about this the other day, when you eliminate kind of the minutia underneath your task list and your to-do list, that might be unpopular, getting rid of some things, but you know, you just don't want 80% of your life to represent scarcity. You want it to represent the freedom of this. And it takes courage. How you want to live, you I'm gonna get re can I get real, Paige? You good with that? I love how you're still on the Carl Miller Agency Zoom. This is awesome. But it's so funny. You're good. Sorry. I love you. I know. You got to be honest with yourself. How many conversations, Paige, have you and I had where you got to get real? You got to admit to yourself, what do you want most? And to live freely, you got to stop lying to yourself. Being free means you let go of everything you think you need and choose to focus on what you absolutely want. Wanting is based on freedom. Needing is based on security and simplicity and safe. Because there's two types of freedom, right? There's freedom from where you're externally escaping something, and there's freedom to. I want you to think about the freedom to, where you're internally committing yourself and courageously choosing what you want. It's a different approach. It really truly frees you up. And when you live based on freedom and not want, your life starts transforming in quantitative and nonlinear ways where you really start to grow and to build impact and influence because it's really truly you're operating with everything that you want in mind, right? I love what Rory said to his daughter in his acceptance speech. Poppy's 4 years old. Great name, by the way. I love that name. he said to her, you know, he goes, Poppy, I just want you to know that no matter your dad is telling you right here, never ever give up on your dreams. Never give up on anything that you truly believe in, that you truly want, because if you just don't quit, anything is possible. After 11 times and 11 failures, he's now become one of six um, golfers that's ever won the all four majors at one, which is which is just awesome. So I'll end with this: be true, and I'll open it up if you want. Be true, be real, be honest with you. That's where it starts. I can't tell you what you want. It's a you thing. Also, that'd be very irresponsible for me to, say what you want. Find out what you want, define it, and don't quit. Anything else, Bridge, Paige?
No, not for me. That's perfect, Tommy. We'll leave it there.
Everybody, let's we've got the Walk of Fame for in the Walk of Fame breakout starting now. Let's jump over there. Let's learn how to help these people um, get into pre-licensing, pass their test. How about it?